A troubled teen named Crystal Brooke Howell was like a lot of her peers. She didn't like being told what to do and just wished her dad would disappear. And then one day, Michael Howell did just that. She told pals that her father had split. And told others that the 50-year-old sports editor had blown his brains out somewhere in Georgia. The truth was more sinister. An incident on February 24, 2014, set a horror show in motion. Crystal, 17, was pinched for shoplifting while out with her father. At that time, cops believe she began plotting the demise of her newspaperman dad. The evidence is that Miss Howell, who her father had just caught shoplifting, came home and thought about killing her dad while she showered. Afterwards, she executed him while he slept on the couch. She then hid his body in the garden shed before spending his money on drugs and hosting parties. She pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and concealing a death in October this year and will spend a minimum of 30 years in prison. In February 2014, Crystal lived with dad Michael Howell in Sheepback Mountain, a remote community near Maggie Valley in Colombia. Her parents had divorced 5 years before, and Crystal came to live with her dad in a large 8-bedroom wooden cabin after staying with her mom. Christina Rester didn't work out because she couldn't follow the rules. Crystal was a rebellious teenager and had been caught shoplifting in December, 3 months before the murder. Her dad Michael was a former sports editor at the local paper, the Columbia County News-Times, and liked living in the country. On the 23rd of February 2014, Crystal thought about killing her dad Michael. When they got home, she took a shower, and he went for a nap on the couch. But he never woke up, as Crystal shot him at point-blank range with a shotgun in the head, killing him instantly. She then hid his body in a shed on the grounds of their house, wrapping her dead dad in a sleeping bag and putting him inside a plastic storage container. She got rid of the gun casing, couch, and sold the gun before telling friends that dad Michael had killed himself. She claimed he had traveled to Georgia and that she's received a call saying he committed suicide. Her concerned friends rallied around her for support, and when she invited them to stay over because she didn't want to be alone, they agreed. They helped her sort through Michael's possessions and packed them into plastic containers, similar to where she hid the body. One of her friends, Summer Ramsey, was given the key to the shed and told to keep everyone out, except to put more items in. In the days that followed, she began to host wild parties, buying drugs with her dad's money and even driving his Range Rover. She also installed a stripper pole in the kitchen, and nobody suspected anything because the cabin was so isolated. But it all came crashing down when two of her friends, Elijah Damon and Anthony Talley, discovered Michael's body. On March 22, a month after she killed her dad, they moved a pinball machine into the shed. As they tried to make space for it, they discovered the container, and were horrified to see Michael's decomposing body inside. The boys called the police, but Crystal had disappeared by the time they arrived, driving to her mom's house in Augusta, Georgia, the next state. She told her mom she wanted to move in, that dad Michael had released her from his care, but she had a shower then left. Police arrested her the next day at a motel, and when questioned, she confessed to the brutal killing. Prosecutors said, Miss Howell had previously told her friends that her father had killed himself. She then started to drive his car and spend his money. She had her friends move in, had a drug-fueled party, and even had a stripper pole installed in the kitchen. In October this year, she pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and concealing a death. She was locked up for a minimum of 30 years in prison. Her lawyers claimed she had a history of mental health problems, but prosecutors described the crime as a planned and brutal execution. The judge was told, "The evidence, in this case, is that Miss Howell, who had just been caught shoplifting with her father that day, came home and thought about killing her dad while she showered. Afterwards, she executed him while he slept on the couch." District Attorney Ashley Welch added, "It's shocking that a young woman kills her father. But the fact that Howell then began to spend her father's money, use his house and drive his car, all after hiding his body and the evidence of her crime. That's the motive. She wanted to live on her terms at the expense of Michael Howell's life. It's unfortunate. Crystal's aunt, Brenda Ennis, told the Augusta New-Times that her niece had a difficult childhood and a history of emotional problems. She said, "I can tell you there is a lot more wrong with Crystal than has come out. There have been so many issues, but they have compounded by all that she has been through over the years." But she insists Crystal was a loving, sweet child, and not a heinous monster. She added, "It is a heartbreaking tragedy, that's all I know. People need to understand mental illness is serious, and it can push to the limit, and I think this is what has happened."